I'm playing my game, playing Another Crab's Treasure. The Year of the Crab update just came out. Also watching Hassan Perker is this many percent fucked. 300. I'm already partways in, but I might as well start the video. Yes, is now. Apologies. Yep, you can. Nice. I'll still be live on live. Get my. That's what I'm. Talk to myself. Yay, we boogieing. I'll still be live on. Cool. There be. Sorry, chat. We shall actually come. Shall actually. Big game.
With you.
Cool.
And
you're so brave. You're so brave, Edubs. The way he went and decided to collaborate with all the retards on Twitch. They all came together. They all came together on Twitch. All the retards, all the ones that say that Israeli babies are valid military targets. All those fucking freaks. They all came together to shit on Jewish man Ethan Klein. And say, I really hate the bitter old man you've become. All they tried to do was take your children from you.
and a lot of people who have been on the receiving end of your harassment.
But he doesn't say the majority of these clips he's using are taken from this episode. Now, does he ever show the title of this episode? No, he does not ever show the title.
Dude, all the clips that he used in his podcast where they were crashing out was literally after Child Protective Services was called on them. How on earth do you leave the context out for something like that? I'm telling you, these people are evil. They're vindictive. Every single time you see Hassan claim that his clips are out of context, fuck no, they're not out of context.
Why am I wearing a shell?
It's everything else that's out of context. He's in context. When Hassan said that America deserved 9/11, that was in context.
Holy shit, I deal a lot of
damage. And it's
damage.
because Hassan is pro-terrorist. That's why he does it. He is a vicious creature. The largest leftist streamer, by the way. Someone, even if it's a blue retard on the internet, needs to call this guy out for his shit consistently.
Fucking hell, I deal with.
Title of this episode. Snark called Child Protective Services on us. Not only does he not show the title, he doesn't explain why I'm upset, who I'm mad at, why I'm mad at them.
Oh yeah,
zero context. I am just an anonymous screaming lunatic.
It's been pleasant hanging out with you. I've enjoyed your content over the years, and as of late, it's gotten really fucking shitty.
Yeah, so go fuck yourself.
Good criticism.
I agree.
Who else? Who else do we want to burn today?
Who else do we want to burn today? You're making it so fucking obvious that this is your, emotional dumping ground.
Bro, they called Child Protective Services to take their children away. Bro, they made up a lie on the internet, propagated by thousands of people, that Ethan's children were crawling around in dog shit, eating dog shit, and getting diseases because of it. That is a perfectly reasonable reason to crash out. What are you even talking about? This is insanity.
It's horrible. This is not what podcasts are.
How dare you complain that people are trying to take your children away? I have empathy.
There was a way to approach this to say, we feel hurt by you guys not saying something.
Bro, you always hear about what lack of pussy does to a motherfucker. Bro, iDubbbz is a walking example of what pussy does to a motherfucker. Holy shit. Ian Jamba over here absolutely fucking obliterating his own life in real time. What an absolute piece of shit. I wonder if he's so deep in his echo chamber that he's never going to even hear this criticism. Not just mine, but anyone's. Like, I don't know any rational person that could look at this and think that this is a normal thing that he did. That he stabbed his friend in the back and that he took him out of context maliciously to get his career over just so he could get into bed with Hassan Piker and his little group, his tiny gaggle of hopefully soon to be fucking fucked terrorist supporters.
You've decided to do the extra thing and attack.
In this episode, the same day that CPS came to my home, I was understandably irate. This was a provocation that I had not experienced. It went into my real world.
And the real winner of all this? Jordan Peterson. Yep, kind of, I'm not gonna lie. Jordan Peterson kind of won this entire drama. This whole drama, the only winner was Jordan P.
Okay, Mitch.
For those of you that don't know, Jordan Peterson said to... Let me see if I can actually just find the actual thing. That's not relevant. Jordan Peterson. Ethan.
Does anybody want it?
Yeah. H3H3 Productions, you might seriously consider providing me the footage. No, that's not what I want. You will be held to higher and higher, soon to impossible to maintain ethical standard by the very mob you currently wish to please. Then you will make a mistake and they will devour you with glee. Please take this warning seriously. I liked you. And he was completely correct. He was completely right. Holy shit. So Jordan Peterson W. After all that. Ethan, I hope you acknowledge the fact that this gigantic fucking group of fake friends that you've had, Hassan and iDubbbz and all these pieces of shit, they never liked you. They used you. All them and their fucking empathy and their protests and their mostly peaceful protests and mostly peaceful stabbings that happen. These pieces of shit.
Where am I going?
Ethan, you will be held to an impossibly higher standard, and you will eventually make a mistake, and they will devour you with glee.
Two retards fighting, for real. Left on left violence, that's what we do here.
Very cool.
Was affecting my children and my life in a way that I found extremely disturbing and an escalation that I found very unacceptable. Now, why am I mad at Ian for this? Well, let's start here.
Because he's a bitch.
Denims is someone he's accusing me of in his video of harassing. Let's see what Denim said about my children 3 days before CPS was called.
He lets his dogs shit all over his mansion, and he just leaves the shit on the floor, something that is probably related to the fact that his former housekeeper is suing him for a number of different reasons. So I would assume he doesn't actually have a housekeeper anymore, or perhaps he lost his extra housekeeper. So now the house is just like covered in dog shit. And he has kids, and his kids like crawl into the dog shit, and God forbid, I don't know what they do with it. I don't know if they eat it.
I love how this guy makes believe he actually cares about Ethan's children when he wishes death on them all the time. It's literally just faking shit. Like, this guy actually says also that all Israeli babies are valid military targets. Like, dude, it's the same fucking shit. All these people. It's crazy. It's like, it's this weird circle-jerking social circle of complete freaks and terrorist supporters arguing about how they are more ethical than anybody else. You can't take any of this shit seriously.
Or if just from, like, contact with it with their hands or something. But they contracted a parasite that I had previously never heard.
And this is, like, all fake news. This was all debunked. Where she's just broadcasting this fake information. It's amazing, dude. And yeah, they've unlocked empathy, guys. This is what empathy does to motherfucker.
Of in my life called Giarda from the dog shit that is all over his house.
Dude, I love how OnlyFans girl to leftist political streamer rabbit hole is crazy. Oh my god,
dude! How is it that like
unbind the
maybe
button
once a week I look into what Ethan Klein's been up to, and every time I manage to find more and more terrible shit. This is where Ethan tells us
turns out this terrible shit is just not true at all.
His family getting Giarda.
We already have Mold Mondays. Now we have Shit Saturdays.
Also, this is not a joking matter, by the way. It can be very severe and deadly to small children. I mean, much like many other illnesses, it's very, very, very dangerous when infants get the same sicknesses that adults get. There are lots of things that you can get as an adult. You're totally fine.
Dr. Denim's on the case.
A-okay. No problem. a child.
You should tell that to Hassan. I mean, he went to a brothel that was sex trafficking children. You don't know what they might have conducted over there. You don't know what kind of shit went on there. I mean, bro went to Diddy parties, goddammit. Woo, you should tell your boyfriend.
A small infant that has no immune system shouldn't be catching anything.
Oh my god, this argument!
I'll hit you.
I already covered this in the last one. I already covered this in the last time I talked about denims. Kids have no immune system, so they shouldn't be catching diseases. It's the worst argument of all time. Oh my god.
No wonder his house is covered in dog shit, and his neglected children raised by nannies have contracted parasites previously unknown to science from the feces. I wonder why he skipped over all of this, because everything that he said, everything that I said in this story, which by the way was apparently compiled by his crew, playing.
No wonder this motherfucker's always sick. Yeah, it all makes sense now.
He has 3 children under the age of 5. Of course he's sick, because kids who have very little immune system actually catch lots of colds and diseases and shit. Oh my god. I love it. You have this entire group of these leftists on Twitch that support terrorists. None of them have children, and they're all like, holy fuck, take his kids away. Previously unknown to science. Yeah, Ethan fucking invented diseases to put in his dog's shit and feed his children, probably. Dude, what is going on? How do you believe this? It just broadcast.
He shot me, chat.
See, dude, the Diddy thing, the first time the Diddy story broke that Hassan went to a Diddy party, I didn't even cover it immediately because I thought it was fake. Listen, I hate Hassan probably more than you do. I mean, that guy celebrated when my family was murdered in Israel. That guy celebrated. So I probably don't like him more than you do. That said, even I didn't report on the Diddy story until it was confirmed that he actually went to a Diddy party.
Oh, it's up on the D-pad. I'm stupid.
It all makes sense now. It makes sense why he doesn't care about Palestinian children when he is neglecting his own. How is this happening? How is this happening? How is this happening? Yeah, I mean, I don't even make fun of people's weight. I've never made fun of people's weight.
You're getting the shit beaten out of me.
I do make fun of.
You're such a hero. So brave, so brave. I don't make fun of people's weight. Anyway, take his children away from him.
Out of practice,
hell yeah, dude.
Jesus.
People's posture. If you're making an active decision that like you don't give a fuck about your health or your posture or your dog shitting all over the house to the point where your kids are getting giardia.
Hey there, pal. Which didn't happen.
That's the image of someone who is not well.
Wait, so she doesn't criticize people that are fat, but she does criticize people that don't take care of their well-being. Okay, so bitch is retarded and stupid.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
Oh, that was an
excellent
roll.
You guys didn't know about this? Yeah.
Oh, she spread the lie herself. Wait, she didn't even. It's not just that she reacted to the guy that said it. She actually said it herself too. Hell yeah.
What a cool person. But that's.
Diet. Oh god.
Even after CPS was called, Denims attempted to justify it by claiming that it's okay because children can't be traumatized.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I want you to create any bad memory here for them. Like, they are 5 and 3. They don't understand this shit. So I told him,
buddy, create any bad memory for them. You're not forming memories at 3 years old. And it's very rare that you're forming memories at 5 years old.
Oh my god, I remember this clip.
No, yes, you are. No, you're not.
They're already
when we're talking about
people don't actually develop memories at 5 years old. I mean, I'm saying this for myself because I'm retarded, but it's a known fact of science. I know as a scientist. I'm an OnlyFans girl. I have a PhD in selling my titties on the internet. I know a thing or two about memories.
Being able to remember, being able to recall memories. It's like 4 is the cutoff. But even if you are forming any memories at 4, you're not going to be able to remember them past like 15.
Hell yeah, Denim's giving you the ethical, moral case why it's okay to rape children. Based, I guess, Denims. Hell yeah, dude. That's the Denims argument. I mean, they won't remember anyway, right? So if the child is under 5, is it really a problem? Hell yeah, Denims. Good argument. You're fucking cooking.
He's so smart, though.
You have maybe 1 or 2 memories.
If you're wondering who the guy is she's watching, his name is Bad Empanada. And
oh my god, that's not, okay. Is that just a lot of the Denims clips? All right, well in that case, I have to show you a Denims clip.
Oh shit.
This is the worst Denims clip. You thought that was bad? Nah. This is the Denims clip of all Denims clips.
was a 17-year-old whose family was murdered in front of her, and she was kidnapped for 50 days and continually raped while being in captivity. Nothing to say? Nothing? You're not going to fucking acknowledge what just happened?
I will acknowledge what just happened.
All right.
This woman.
Right. So this is after Denims denied that terrorists raped people, despite the fact that the UN said that terrorists raped people. All right.
Woman who you claimed was continually raped in captivity did not claim to have been raped.
כל פעם שפגשתי מישהו היה לפחות מישהי או מישהו אחד שחוו התעללות מינית והתעללות פיזית. כאילו חצי מהם.
In that interview, she says that at least half the hostages she spoke to said they were sexually assaulted. At no point did she claim that anything had happened to her.
Yeah. So her argument here is, Ethan, you said that I denied that women got raped, but in actuality, women never claimed that they got raped. They only said they saw other people get raped. That's her defense, which is pretty bad. But don't worry, it gets so much worse.
To my knowledge so far, no hostages have given first-hand accounts of being sexually assaulted in captivity.
Except, seconds later in the same documentary that she took the clip from of someone saying that she saw people getting raped in front of her, get ready for this one.
I'm good at the game. Believe me.
Trigger warning. It's the same documentary, seconds later.
I remember thinking, now is the moment. Something, what you thought about is gonna happen. And then I remember I turned around. He was standing with his gun, and the gun was pointing.
For context, this is one of the Israeli hostages that was held by the Hamas terrorists, the pieces of shit fucks that will hopefully be removed from this corporeal plane very shortly and enjoy the rest of their eternity in hell. You know, kind of broiling over there. She is one of the hostages that was freed.
It out at me, and he was huffing and breathing heavily, and he had a face like a monster, like a beast, like this. So I stood up and held a blanket, a small blanket, to cover myself, and he came towards me and just pointed the gun really hard at my forehead, screaming at me, take it off, and punching me until I could not hold the towel anymore. And he started touching me, and I resisted, and then he dragged me to the bedroom. And then he forced me to commit a sexual act on him.
Yeah, so that's the worst.
No hostages have given first-hand accounts of being sexually assaulted in captivity.
Yeah, so that's the worst Denims clip. She is a rape denier, a rape apologist, a supporter of the very rapists that raped these women, claiming to be a leftist fighting for women's rights, but obviously she is not that at all. She is an insidious, fucking, disgusting bitch. And to be honest, I feel bad for any harassment that gets sent her way, but she literally set that shit up to happen to herself. So this is the believe all women lady when she's talking about Jewish women. Suddenly, the rules change. So anyway, this is Denims. All right, so I felt like I needed to give you context as to why Ian made his content cop literally platforming the worst people of all time to go after his former friend. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't even like Ethan H3 guy that much. I don't know him. I don't love him. Whatever. He apps a lot. But I'll tell you one thing for sure. These people are all worse. All of them. The entire fucking gaggle. Yeah, the whole Hassan squad of rape deniers and terrorist sympathizers.
As far as wondering who the guy is she's watching, his name is Bad Empanada. And as far as harassment campaigns go, you'd think that Ian, as someone who cares so deeply about it, would be talking about him and not me. Here's a small taste.
I'd like to pay tribute to Ethan
Klein
and the new Twitch TOS that declares Zionism. Zion is the slur. I'd like to pay tribute to him by playing the first in Al-Aqsa video game where you kill Zionist soldiers as a Palestinian resistance fighter.
He means terrorist.
Anyways, are these Israelis? They're just standing there? I mean, is the Israeli army a bunch of Ethan Kleins? Like,
what the hell?
They're all on a fucking Ozempic binge. They don't understand what's going on around them. They haven't noticed me. Where do they keep the secretaries? In here?
Right, he's saying that because Ethan's wife, Hila Klein, was a secretary during her IDF service. And he went out there cosplaying terrorists, murdering secretaries in the IDF.
I'm hunting for secretaries right now.
Yeah, this guy's a freak. Don't know anything about it.
Secretary got...
Here's Bad Empanada once again, who posted a story saying, I'm the one who called CPS on Ethan Klein. I want CPS to take his kids away because they are seriously in danger.
I'm shooting him. I have,
yeah, that's a
I have
piece
no
of shit.
willpower.
Holy crap.
Actually, I lied. I'm bad. I'm gonna play
New
Neon White.
sleep paralysis demon unlocked.
Today was pretty bad, wasn't it? Really sucked for you. You so
I lied. I'm playing Neon White because I'm bad at this game.
The betrayal of one of your closest long-term friends, huh?
What the fuck is going on?
Bro.
TikTok, though, Ethan. TikTok. Because this is just...
Dude, is it like a cringe competition between these guys? Are these guys actually in like some sort of competition trying to become cringe? Like you got Ian doing his fucking Fortnite dance. You got the fucking Hassan cat girl maid outfit. You got this dude doing his weird Zordon head impression.
A taste. This was just a small part of what we have organized for you. It's only gonna get worse. It's only gonna get worse, Mr. Klein. Every day, sit there just waiting in misery, in fear of what we have in store for you.
I gave up on that. I'll play Neon White, but he's so much better at chat.
Maybe if I wonder what they have in store for him. I hope it's not political activism, mostly peaceful violence that they decide to do. I hope the tolerant left doesn't decide to mostly peacefully, violently attack this guy. I mean, people called for violence for me for less. So, I mean, hey, would you be that surprised? Bro thinks he's a fucking hero. Hiding in Argentina or some shit.
He stops harassing other creators.
He lets his dogs...
Yeah, and Ethan is the one harassing everyone else. No one's harassing him. See, as someone that fully supports the two retards fighting meta, it's pretty great. This is wonderful.
Shit all over his mansion, and he just leaves the shit on the floor.
Bro looks like Betelgeuse from ReZero.
Maybe if he does these things, eventually he'll find peace.
House is just like covered in dog shit, and he has kids, and his kids like crawl into the dog shit.
And I feel like I am speaking up for a lot of people who have problems.
Like, was I doing that?
So brave.
I don't know what they do with it. I don't know if they eat it or if it's just from like contact with it with their hands or something.
I was particularly angry during this episode.
I'm gonna show you this. Someone made a tweet. I'm trying to explain Bad Empanada to my roommate. Does anyone have screenshots of his old heaters on Twitter? Heaters, this is a pro Bad Empanada account. Hello, global Islamic resistance. You are understandably angry right now and may want to take revenge in the future. For this reason, I would like to show you some of my favorite American buildings. And the New York City subway is well known for its high rider count and lack of emergency exits.
Holy fucking 5 seconds faster. No wonder my time's dog shit.
What? Predictably, those uncritically support any and all Ukrainian military action are up in arms about the first Palestinian military action in some of their entire lifetimes. He's referring to the October 7th terrorist attack. White genocide is just a conspiracy theory. Let's change that. Nice. I genuinely believe that Nazism should be punishable with the death penalty. With his header, Israeli equals Nazi. All right, we're on the same page. And by the way, these are his fans. These aren't even his bad posts that his haters posted. These are his fans. My plan to decolonize the USA, Indian territory. Tel Aviv, Dresden, meaning he wants to firebomb Tel Aviv. Disqualifying problems with anti-colonial resistance fighters against drugs, non-human, homophobic, guilty of 200 genocide, war crimes against humanity, crimes against humanity.
How much faster do I need to go?
Yeah, anywho, just in case, yeah, that's this guy. All right, are we on the same page? We on the same page?
Got better.
All right, so yeah, so next guy that Ian Idubbbz indirectly supports with his video.
entitled Snark Called CPS on Us, because I hold Denims to be one of the primary reasons, in my opinion, why CPS was called. Another one of their friends, Froggy Tonic, had been spreading the same malicious rumor about me on Twitter for days before CPS was called as well.
I used to work with this video editor named Froggy Tonic. I discovered him because he was in the circles online that I was in. There would be an occasional Froggy tweet where I'd be like, I agree with that, you know? Like, I'm not going to endorse it. I'm not going to retweet it or like it, but fair enough. Now, my former editor of a year and a half ago did say some truly mean shit. He called Hila the C-word. He said they're trying to kill their dog with cheddar cheese and a bunch of other shit, I'm sure.
Now let me show you the tweets that Ian conveniently omitted. Me when my 3 kids ask me why they haven't seen me in the past 4 months. I was in my basement. How can you shun a fallen fan when they worry about their 3 kids when they can't be bothered to protect their dogs?
Yeah, no, constantly tweeting constantly about how he's endangered to his own children. No, you can obviously be very reasonably upset at this guy. It's shocking to me that... Yep.
And was neglectful with his dogs. He's already been neglectful with his kids, and he will continue to be. As a child of a neglectful, bipolar, narcissistic dad, that's precisely why I worry about Ethan's kids. I explained it on the podcast, but the truth of the matter is, it's all a lie. It's all wrong. The man is talking about my children. He's painting me as a terrible parent, a neglectful parent, and saying that he's, whose claim to fame is being iDubbbz's friend and former editor, is spreading malicious, damaging rumors about me that led to the CPS being called. Which, by the way, Ian does not explain one time. Did not mention why I'm angry at Froggy Tonic. He did not mention why I'm angry at Denims. He did not mention the name of the episode. He did not mention what the episode was about. He actually has a perfect opportunity to explain the CPS call, but watch what he does here instead.
Now, my former editor of a year and a half ago did say some truly mean shit. He called Hila the C-word. He said they're trying to kill their dog with cheddar cheese and a bunch of other shit.
What other shit, Ian? Other shit is doing a lot of heavy lifting, man. Now, why does this matter? Because Anissa was yucking it up with these guys during the period in which they were spreading this rumor and when the CPS call was made. The CPS call is central to understanding this story. You cannot tell this story without that context. And to try to tell this story without including that detail, it would be the most bad faith, cruel, gaslighting hit piece of all time.
Bro, it's crazy. No, not the gaslighting backstab hit piece. Oh God, I'm getting post-Nux Clarity flashbacks. Oh no, no. No, but yeah, no, dude, this is so much worse. This is so bad. Oh fuck.
Unfortunately, that's exactly what he did. He convinced his audience that the reason that I'm mad, that I'm lashing out, simply because I'm a raving lunatic, I am crashing out, I'm just crazy and harassing his friends for no reason. And by the way, to my good friend Ian of 8 years, I really appreciate you weaponizing my mental health against me.
To make Ethan crash out. He's having a parasocial, weird crash out. People can have crash out moments.
Good
Maybe
friend moment.
Ethan's able to get some help.
Someone who I've confided in over the years with my struggles with it.
Friends like these, who needs enemies? Yeah, that's right. Oh God, this fucking industry is so toxic. The moment you try to be real about anything, they will stab you in the back for a second. Ian iDubbbz wants to revitalize his career so badly. He needed to suck up to Hassan Piker.
Understands what I've been through, the lengths that I've gone to work on myself and improve my mental condition. For him to throw that in my face, to characterize anything I'm doing as crashing out, that I need help, that I need to get some kind of treatment, is cruel and pathetic on a level I didn't think he would ever be possible of doing. One ridiculous point he keeps hammering on is that I'm hating on him, I'm harassing him, simply because he's following people on Twitter.
We're not going to run to your defense when, I don't know, we follow people. We be following. That's one fucked up thing that you can say about Anissa and I.
It's crazy. Rewatching clips of the Content Cop just goes to show how much of a nothing burger it actually was.
Yeah, it was
like
nothing.
The Hassan influence, it rots all creative thinking.
When we're on Twitter, we do be following.
I'm not upset, Ian, because you follow people. That is absurd. I'm mad because you are actively engaging with these people on social media, in DMs, while this harassment is happening, seemingly indifferent to it, silent on it. In a sense, I felt like you were more on their side than my side.
And he was right. And he was literally right. Oh my God. I love how Ian's like, you assumed that I was a bad friend and stabbing you in the back by my silence. And in fact, you were correct. I am a bad friend and stabbing you in the back with an hour-long hit piece.
With an hour-long.
Our silence means something. It means that we would like to pause this relationship until you figure your shit out.
Our silence means something. That's exactly what we felt. Wow, it's almost like we were right about you.
He was.
There's something that I've never talked about publicly, but around the same time, we received 2 human skulls in the mail at our home, which led us to having...
What? Bro's just dropping that bombshell now, huh?
I missed it.
What the fuck?
I mean, it's faster, but I missed it.
One more time.
I beat a cheater. That's cool.
We received 2 human skulls in the mail at our home, which led us to having a very pleasant interview with the FBI. Things have...
Holy shit, that is fucked up.
Yeah, that's insane.
What, because he had 2 children at the time, so they mailed him 2 skulls? Maybe they didn't say anything because they were told they couldn't because they were under investigation because of the FBI? Maybe. That is fucked up, bro. To say that he is the one causing this harassment when this shit is happening. All right, well, once you're in contact with the FBI, maybe point them towards your terrorist sympathizing ex-friend, Hamas Piker. He's been to Diddy parties. That's pretty fucked up.
Progressed well past the point of that's just what the internet does. Ian had a recent revelation. He's transcended into a new person.
Empathy.
He's achieved nirvana.
I love
and
this
discovered empathy.
I love this clip. He's like, I put some skill points into empathy and I've unlocked it. I've unlocked empathy, guys, which is why I now don't say racial slurs anymore and become an all-round much worse person than the guy I was when I was saying racial slurs.
Age 32.
I think only in these past couple of years have I gained the ability empathy.
I love this clip. I love this clip so much, man. It is such a good clip. I've unlocked empathy, guys.
And I'm very ashamed to admit that. It sounds.
Rogan making believe she knows. Look at this. Look at her trying to dance. When it's in slow motion, it's even better.
And
dude,
I'm very ashamed to admit
can't even lift her legs.
It sounds.
Holy shit! Oh, Hijab of the Hutt, not cooking.
It sounds really pathetic to say at the age of 32 I've acquired empathy, but I have, and I've realized it because I just.
No, that's the Bleach sword. That's the fucking Ichigo Bankai. No! I don't think it's not meant to be a fucking. No. Dude, the perfect choice of sword for this skit. Oh my god. Everyone knows why he picked this fucking sword. Alright? I don't think there's anything wrong with the sword. It's obviously based off the Bleach character sword. Which I don't think was based off, like, you know, an actual Nazi swastika symbol shit. But he picked this sword, right? Like, come on. He could have picked any sword he wanted. He picked the notorious fucking memed ass Bleach Bankai? Nah, bro, that's crazy. Hassan doesn't even watch Bleach. Why does he have the Bleach sword? It's based off the India symbol. Yeah, no, in Bleach it's based off the India symbol, but like,
okay.
But like, this is a fucking group of people that did an Arab to Jew racist tier list. All right, these are people that say that all Israelis deserve to get murdered. I don't get it. This is a Nazi symbol.
It's like can't help myself but like feel for other people's pain and suffering now. I
have developed empathy, so I made an hour-long hit piece on my former best friend. I hope he dies.
Not perfect. I think that is my empathy meter's only maybe like a quarter of the way filled up potentially, but it's at least there.
I have so much empathy. Anyway, kill more Israeli babies, please. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Go glaze some terrorists with your homies.
In the spirit of his newfound enlightenment, he had this to say.
I have made some cruel, hurtful content, and I need to acknowledge that, and I'm really sorry that it's taken me this long to acknowledge it.
I'm sorry I've made hateful content. Anyway, here's me collaborating with a terrorist.
The content I'm talking about specifically are content cop videos and videos where I was just generally criticizing people for very lackluster reasons.
I hate that I criticize people for lackluster reasons. Anyway.
And, you know, obviously didn't have any accountability online whatsoever on my end. I was morally grandstanding and acting as if I am any better than any of these people that I was making content cop videos on, and I'm not. I'm a human, I'm a real human who makes mistakes, and, you know, I make a different set of mistakes than the people I was making videos on, but it doesn't matter. I don't think anyone deserves...
Guys, listen, I'm just saying. She looks like a JD Vance meme, bro. This isn't me being racist, okay? This is me being honest, okay? Hijabba the Hutt is a bitch.
That level of cruelty or hate. It's also indoctrinated a lot of people into thinking that this is an okay way to behave, and it's not.
What happened? Am I so uniquely evil that you're willing to...
Ethan, you fool, you're Jewish.
You're Jewish.
Oh, Ethan doesn't realize. He doesn't understand. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. He's Jewish. He would never understand. He wouldn't get it. Yeah. One day he'll realize. He's Jewish. You know, the fucking terrorist people on Twitch, they don't like you. I'm sorry, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Abandon your newfound principles after, what, less than a year? What is it that I've done, Ian, that makes me more detestable than any of the other people that you've content copped? And for what did you do this? To revitalize your dying career?
Oof, that's what I said too. Fuck, he's trying to cozy up to the fucking Twitch terrorists.
Entire video reeks of desperation, of being thrown together, and poorly researched. I don't really even understand why they did this, and I can't imagine
Who's they? Well, I know why Hassan did this. Hassan did this because it was a cheap shot, free shot at his enemy, because Hassan's a bitch. Ian did this because he wanted to cozy up to Hassan and Hassan's community, because the last time he did a boxing event, he basically made a giant scam for charity, from my perspective, because no money actually basically ended up going to the charity. From my perspective, realistically, bro is a fucking loser sucking Hassan dick, probably because his wife is evil.
That it's going to be worth it. Thanks for the 8 years of friendship, buddy. Have fun with your new friends.
Yeah, and that's what it was all about. It was a weird humiliation inauguration ritual of him joining a new group of essentially irrelevant terrorist supporters. Please accept me, guys. I'm better and woker than ever. Thanks for being my friend. Anyway, that's Ian's response. Ethan's response to Ian. Come on, guys, get better names next time. Realistically, it's a disgusting situation. Hassan Diddy Piker, truly at the forefront of this great movement. This fantastic movement where rational leftists go to die. Hell yeah, we have reached zenith. We have reached truly the zenith. What a glorious time to be me. Definitely subscribe for more Two Retards Fighting content. Unfortunately for them, I don't really have a problem making enemies when I think the enemies support terrorists. Unlike Ian, who's gonna suck Hassan dick, I unfortunately have this little thing called a backbone. So, to Asmongold and everyone else watching today's 40-minute roast session, have yourself a most wonderful evening. And remember, don't stab your friends in the back because you want to suck a terrorist supporter with a big dick. Stay weird, fam. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.
Oh my
Americans that believe in incarcerating criminals and Americans that believe in releasing them. Welcome to a brand new video. I'm really glad to be able to be in this position, a position of privilege, where I get to share the word of the Lord with everyone. That's what I do here. We are a gospel reading channel now. That's right. Hell yes, brothers. So, recent news, a lot of terrorists got deported from the United States. Big W. No one wants terrorists in the United States unless you're a Democrat. And some Democrats were so mad that terrorists got deported that there were Democrats that flew to El Salvador to try to get the terrorist, rapist, pedophile murderers back into America. Now, that is someone that clearly loves America. So, Caroline Leavitt, and under the auspices of Donald J. Trump, is bringing in someone to talk. This is like a big surprise. This literally just happened. I don't know who it is. And she is hosting something with a special guest. I literally don't know who this special guest is. I don't know what's happening. My audience is freaking out. Everyone in chat's telling me I have to react to this. People are telling me it's going to go hard. So I am excited to see how hard it goes. Because, to be honest, I have never seen the Democrats in quite such a state of fucked before. But it's very fun. Subscribe for more fucked. All right, let's go. Cooking with Caroline. I don't know who that lady is.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Sorry about the saturation. I'm currently traveling, and there's always chaos to do. There's always retards to make fun of, so grind don't stop.
President Trump campaigned on the promise to secure our homeland and deport violent alien criminals from our communities. That is why the American people overwhelmingly reelected him back to this office, and it's why the American people defeated the Democrat Party in devastating fashion.
Very devastating fashion. Very devastating. Let's not forget all 7 swing states cry out Trump every 4 years. No more woke. Go woke, go broke. Eat a cock. They suck, they're lame, they're gay and retarded. All 7 swing states, majority vote. But they have pronouns, but they don't have any swing states.
Today we have officially learned Democrat officials still refuse to accept the will of the American people.
Yep.
Maryland Democrats,
and that is why the Democratic Party right now has a 20% approval rating. You'd think in a 2-party system they'd have like 50% approval rating. No. People are like, wait a second, these people are retards. I don't know what happened. They used to not be lame and gay, and now they somehow are. They're all retards now.
They're all
Senator Chris Van Hollen rushed to Dulles Airport this morning to fly to El Salvador, potentially using taxpayer dollars.
Dude, imagine a Democratic senator uses taxpayer dollars to fly to El Salvador to try to get a terrorist out of prison and back into America. How do you lose the people so badly? How do you lose the people so badly? How do you hate America so much?
To demand the release of deported, illegal, alien, MS-13 terrorists.
Oh my God.
The Democrats and the media in this room have continually and wrongly labeled Kilmar Abrego Garcia.
Bro went on a plane and he was like, don't worry, America. I will return all rapists to this country, to thunderous applause. All the paid protesters really love to hear when he said, how do they do this? How do they find new levels to be retarded? Oh, my Lord.
Garcia as a Maryland father. There is no Maryland father. Let me reiterate. Kilmar Abrego Garcia is an illegal alien, MS-13 gang member, and foreign terrorist who was deported back to his home country. And when Kilmar Abrego Garcia was originally...
Dude, people don't realize something incredibly basic. He's an illegal immigrant, and therefore he is already a criminal that already should get deported, all right? Because he is illegally in the country. Now, he also happens to be part of a giant terrorist organization. What are you doing, Democrats? Oh my God, AOC out there fighting for you and for your health care to give it to terrorists. Like, what is even going on? How do you lose the plot so badly? Bro.
Arrested, he was wearing a sweatshirt with rolls of money covering the ears, mouth, and eyes of presidents on various currency denominations. This is a known MS-13 gang symbol of hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil. Abrego Garcia was also arrested with 2 other well-known members of the vicious MS-13 gang. And 2 separate judges found that Abrego Garcia was a member of MS-13.
Oh, I must have missed the one in the building.
2 judges found him guilty to be a member of a terrorist organization. He's an illegal immigrant in the country. And the Democrats are out there beating their meat, trying their absolute best to stir up some sort of resistance to deporting him. And the craziest part is, if you watch CNN, CNN is like, Trump administration is kidnapping innocent parents. A Maryland father. He was just doing his own thing. And he was kidnapped. With no due process. He was hanging out with other terrorists, but we don't talk about that. Bro, imagine being so audience captured. Imagine being such a retard.
And that finding has never been disputed. And just this morning, it was revealed through Maryland court documents that Abrego Garcia's wife petitioned for an order of protection against him for 2 instances of domestic violence in May of 2021.
Absolute fucking retards. So you're telling me that this senator flew to El Salvador to get an illegal immigrant terrorist back in America when that terrorist's own wife is putting out orders to keep him away from her for abusing her? And he is fighting tooth and nail to bring him back into the country. They lost. Insane. They lost the plot. They completely lost the plot. They utterly lost the plot. There is no way El Salvador is going to let him go. This is obviously all for... Okay, a lot of people don't understand something. Most things that are done in politics are performative. They're not actually in order to get anything done. The reason why he went to El Salvador was to say that I went to El Salvador, I tried to fight for your rights, but Trump is a fascist. That's why he went. He didn't actually intend to get him back. He didn't think he'd get him back. El Salvador's not going to give him up. He's a fucking terrorist. He's in jail in El Salvador, where he's from, because he's a terrorist. They're not giving him up. Now, we are witnessing glorious levels of performance and virtue signaling, saying Trump is so bad. I am fighting for your rights, guys. I'm fighting for your rights. I am fighting for your rights. No people getting black-bagged and disappeared in the streets anymore. So he abused his wife, so he's a terrorist. Come on, we're all terrorists.
And here is the order right here. The court ordered that the respondents committed the following acts of abuse. Once in May of 2021, assault in any degree. And on May 4th of 2021, he punched and scratched his wife, ripped off her shirt, and grabbed and bruised her. This is from a court in Maryland.
And this is the lovely Maryland father that CNN is glazing, literally deep-throating this loving Maryland father, fighting tooth and nail to paint Trump as the bad guy for deporting him. Oh my God.
So not only are Democrats rushing to defend an illegal criminal foreign terrorist gang member, but also an apparent woman beater. To set all of that aside, the basic fact that he was illegally inside our country and had a lawful deportation order made him subject to removal back to his home country.
A lot of people don't know this. In my opinion, this is the biggest misconception of the sheep. And the NPCs don't know this, but it turns out if you're illegally in the country, get fucked and get out. You can self-deport. Trump gives everyone the ability to self-deport. There's an app that lets you self-deport. Trump administration will pay for your plane ticket to get out. If you are illegally in the country, with all due respect, either self-deport or you're rolling the dice that ICE throws you in a fucking prison. I'm sorry. That's life. And I don't know why the American people need to suffer because you decide to invade the country illegally. Sorry, bro. Rights are for the citizens. Pipe down, libtard.
El Salvador. And if he ever ends up back in the United States, he would immediately be deported again. Nothing will change the fact that Abrego Garcia will never be a Maryland father. He will never live in the United States of America again.
Good.
And the United States Supreme Court ruled unanimously that the President of the United States and the Secretary of State could not be compelled to forcibly retrieve this citizen of El Salvador who is currently locked up in a maximum security prison in his home country due to his MS-13 membership.
Where he should be. He is a terrorist. Obviously, he should be in super prison. And I see so many people in my comments saying, Nux, you don't understand the conditions that are there. Yeah, well, skill issue. He shouldn't have been a terrorist. Yeah, El Bozo. Yeah, that's right. You become a terrorist, you go to fucking super jail. Look, I'm not worried about going to super jail, being that I am legally in the country and also not a terrorist.
To remind the media and the Democrat Party, MS-13 are among the most vicious and dangerous individuals in this world. They pose a direct threat to the United States, El Salvador, and any other country who maintains basic law and order. MS-13 rapes innocent girls and women, runs sex trafficking operations, murders for sport, and terrorizes law-abiding people. That's why El Salvador President Bukele made it clear this week that he will not be releasing this MS-13 gang member from his prison. But that is not enough. All of that is not enough to stop the Democrat Party from their lies. The #1 issue they are focused on right now is bringing back this illegal alien terrorist
Yeah, like what the fuck? How on earth do you run a party like this? The party is so cooked. Their entire party is based on bringing back terrorists. Actual clown party. They're not a party, they are a circus. The Democratic Circus.
America. But where are the Democrats applauding the fact that southern border crossings just hit a historic low? Where are the Democrats supporting our brave men and women of law enforcement who are putting their lives on the line every single day to arrest the violent illegal alien invaders that the previous administration allowed into our country? And where are the Democrats when innocent Americans are victimized by illegal criminals that Joe Biden let in? It's appalling and sad that Senator Van Hollen and the Democrats applauding his trip to El Salvador.
Dude, every single Democrat that applauded him going to El Salvador, in my opinion, they will never win an election anywhere again. They are on the wrong side of history. They are the bad guys. They are the shadow government trying to keep Trump down whatever happens and not actually fighting for the American people. It is absolutely mind-boggling that we got to this point where they felt like they were so untouchable because of, I don't know what levels of corruption was going on. I don't know what kind of vote rigging. I do know that they were bringing in hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants into the countries and then letting them vote with no voter ID in order to fucking steal the fucking country. I do know that they were doing that shit, but I don't know how twisted it went. They were unopposed for so long with their stranglehold on America. They don't even know how to operate properly. They are completely lost.
Or today are incapable of having any shred of common sense or empathy for their own constituents and our citizens. Nobody knows this more than the woman standing to my right, Patty Morin, whose beautiful daughter Rachel was brutally maimed and murdered at the hands of an illegal alien in August of 2023. Patty no longer has her daughter because of the failed Democrat Party's open border. And these are policies that President Trump is bringing an end to. Patty should not have to be here today, but she is. And we are grateful and we are honored for her willingness and her request to share her powerful story with the world. Thank you, Patty, for being here.
Oh, God, dude, you told me I had to watch this. I don't know, man. Oh, God. I think that this needs to hit the audience of the people that would never watch it, realistically. Oh, my Lord. All right, here we go. Fuck. Listen, whatever. I don't want to get into, like, super personal shit, but as someone that has lost family members to terrorists, hearing the eulogy of their parents is the worst thing you could ever hear. Oh my God. All right. Well, I do think it's important for the world to hear it, so let's go.
A lot of you don't know the whole story about Rachel and about the crime that was committed against her. Even us, her family, we didn't know all the details. They kept most of it close to their chest, the detectives, because they didn't want to do anything to hurt the case. They wanted to keep the integrity of the case, so they kept everything close.
Did they want to keep the integrity of the case, or did they want to protect illegal immigrants from racism? Yeah, because when a illegal immigrant murders an innocent person, you might end up racist against Mexicans.
I sat for the last 2 weeks in her trial, and we saw layer upon layer upon layer of evidence against the accused, an illegal immigrant from El Salvador. And the things that we thought, well, maybe this might have happened, we didn't know. But when we were at the trial, we got all the puzzle pieces. And I want to share some of those things with you.
Oh, no.
You know that Rachel's a 37-year-old mother. She has 5 children. We've walked the trail for the last 25 years that we've lived in Maryland. It's a safe place for our family. It's where we go to get a little bit of New England, because that's where we're from, New England. When she went on that trail that day, she was not planning on dying. She wasn't planning on walking to her death. She was planning on going to the grocery store with her girls afterwards. Victor Martinez, he waited for her. He waited for her to come closer.
Oh my God.
He saw her. He saw that there was nobody around. He attacked her. He dragged her 150 feet, blood gushing from her head. It left a 150-foot trail of her blood to the culverts, where he picked her up, he threw her against the wall of the tunnel, and he raped her. But before he did that,
this mom is a badass. I don't know who would have Like that's some of these people. They come up and they say these stories, or I don't know. You hear what happens to people when these fucking terrorists get involved. I don't know. You hear the parents of hostages that were captured by Hamas. It's like there are some real unbelievable tragedies that happen in this world, and I think these stories are important because personally, any person that is defending the illegal immigrants, and because they're empaths and because they're empathetic and because they're good people, they don't realize that mercy to the cruel is cruelty to the innocent, and they are part of the problem.
He stopped on that trail and rocks still stained with her blood. He used them to hammer her head against those rocks. They say at least 20 times they could count the cuts in her head. They said that when they did the autopsy, and I've seen the pictures, there's a 6-inch square in the back of her head where the skull is shattered the way that you would crush an eggshell in pieces. 3/4 of her brain hemorrhaged. Her right and left side of her face bashed in. Her beautiful face bashed in. Her head bashed in. Broken bones, fractures. He takes and he drags her some more. He drags her through the thorn bushes. She has all the scrapes and cuts on her body. There wasn't 1 inch of her body that didn't have some kind of injury, whether it's bruising, broken bones, contusions, the scratches. She had a...
Not gonna lie, if this guy ends up in super jail in El Salvador, I would not want him back. All right, hot take. Bro's head should be on a pike. What the fuck, man? This is brutality, and it's insanity, and it's crazy. And these people, these monsters, get them the fuck out of the country. What are you defending? What is going on?
Fractured rib, fractured nose, fractured skull, and then he takes her into the tunnel and he picks her up. He throws her against the wall. Blood is gushing from her head. Her hair is soaked in blood. And they showed us pictures of her body against the wall, outlined. The blood outlined her body, and you could see where the blood ran down around her as he was raping her. And then he threw her down and raped her some more. And then he strangled her because he didn't want her to be able to live to tell the story. They said that when they did the autopsy on her neck, that one of the things they do is they open up the neck and they look to see how far the injury is. And they went all the way down as far as an injury is possible, hemorrhaging in the muscles because of how strong and violent the grip was around her. These are the kind of people that have no compulsion. Like, to them, this is nothing. And when he was sitting in the courtroom, he actually looked like he thought he was going to be set free. There was no
God
at all. This person took my daughter.
Because realistically, there were people. All right, this is obviously a very unbelievably graphic telling of something that unfortunately has happened multiple times in America. And realistically, a lot of these people ended up getting caught and released during the Biden administration. They would catch these people and they would let them back out. It is mind-boggling. If Trump would not be president right now, that dude might not have gotten arrested. He might have been put back on the streets. And these slimy fucks have been getting away with it. More than 6 times this has happened, and they've let them go because they don't want to deal with being called racist for imprisoning them. What? Oh, but think about what this will do for all the racists. All the racism is going to grow if we arrest criminals.
It's finally happening.
There's 6 victims, not of this guy specifically that I know of, but this has happened more than 6 times that there have been these criminals that did similar crimes that were arrested and then let go. This is fucking awful. This is a nightmare. And this, I bet you any money, this story is not on CNN. I bet you any money this is not there. In fact, I'm gonna look. This just happened when? Comments off, of course, 9 hours ago. All right, CNN had plenty of time. Nope. Stock market. George Clooney speaks on Biden. Trump has credibility challenge. Shark Tank predicts U.S.-China deal. Then that's 10 hours ago. They don't have it. Yep, CNN didn't report it. Obviously not. Why would CNN talk about it? Yep, that's too obvious, obviously.
So violently and so gruesomely and so graphically that they sealed the pictures because I don't want my granddaughters to see these pictures. These are the kind of criminals President Trump wants to remove from our country. These are the kind of criminals that we need to remove from our country. We are American citizens. Why should we allow people like this, violent criminals that have no conscience at all, to murder our mothers, our sisters, our daughters? What? I don't understand why there's even any kind of problem with this.
True, and there's no way I'll ever explain it. There is no way you will ever explain to a lady like this why there is currently a senator, a Democrat senator in El Salvador, fighting for the rights of an MS-13 terrorist to come back to the country, even though not only is he a terrorist and illegally in the country, but also he beat his wife more than once. Explain to her why there's a senator doing that right now. Holy shit.
And it's not that it's political, like the left or the right, although I understand.
Yeah, this is not political. Anyone that thinks this is political is retarded. That's why, in my opinion, anyone that has the opinion that, like, oh yeah, we should definitely get this guy back, that person is not to be trusted. That person, quite frankly, is an agent of a political side and a political agenda, not a free thinker in any way. There is no way you can have the opinion that illegal people in the country that are part of terrorist organizations that are beating their wives should come back to the country. They're literally going to El Salvador. He's from El Salvador. Oh my God, these people.
Different parties have used it in the past, but we have to look at it as we are American citizens. We need to protect our families, our borders, our children. I don't care about politics. Well, I do, but
fair enough.
I want
but
to
this
preserve...
isn't about politics. There are some things that are really not about politics. Of course, it's always made to be about politics. But if you, support this is one of those things that zero critical thought whatsoever, Trump derangement syndrome, just hit you too hard.
Life. And that's the only reason why I have taken and spoken about Rachel all this time. If you're a mother here in the room, can you imagine standing there alive, you're alive, and someone comes and puts their hands into your chest and rips out your heart? That's what it feels like. It feels like a part of you is being ripped out of you. You can't even describe the pain. Just like you can't
This lady's a girl boss, by the way. All the Marvel girl bosses out there that struggle to find how themselves and that they are in fact women and women are epic. Nah, dude, this is a girl boss. I cannot imagine doing something as painful or living through something as painful as what she's describing.
Describe to your husband what it feels like to carry a baby in your womb, or to feel those first kicks, or to know just intuitively if it's a boy or a girl. It's only a thing that a mother knows. Why are we not protecting the American citizens?
And then Hassan goes on his stream, the biggest leftist stream on the platform, on the internet, and he says, and Trump is literally just disappearing people in the streets, and you could be next. Holy shit. Those unbelievable rats.
It's just common sense. Why are we not protecting our children?
No shit.
And to have a senator from Maryland who didn't even acknowledge or barely acknowledge my daughter and the brutal death that she endured, leaving her 5 children without a mother and now a grandbaby without a grandmother, so that he can use my taxpayer money to fly to El Salvador to bring back...
What an unbelievable betrayal. Her tax money is funding a senator going to El Salvador to fight for the rights of a terrorist. What do you even do in clown world like this? This is unbelievable levels of clowning.
Someone that's not even an American citizen. Why does that person have more right than I do, or my daughter, or my grandchildren? I don't understand this. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And I just want to say that as a mother and as an American citizen, the president and our entire team, and I hope people in this room are grateful for your willingness to come here and your request to share your daughter's story. And I think the country hears you loud and clear. So thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Patty or for me? No? I have a question. No.
Kidding.
Anybody? Okay. We'll see you all later, President.
Bro, the entire press completely silent. Dude, even CNN, this is Caitlin Collins, the CNN bitch, completely silent. Lord. Do the Democrats realize that they are the most unlikable people on the fucking planet right now? That they are literally cucking their own party so badly by doing everything in their power to fight against America?
I have a question. No. Anybody?
In the tower.
We'll see you all later. The president will be at his dinner later this evening. Thank you for being here, Ms. Moore.
Thank you.
So sorry for your loss.
Bro, fuck. Final words on her way out. Oh my lord. Oh my god. Did you hear that at the end?
Yeah. Tell like how violent it really is.
Tell the truth, she says to a room of press that always slant their stories to one side. Please tell the truth, she says, as the CNN lady nods, and then CNN doesn't even report this story.
This is about protecting our children. It's more than just politics or votes or just anything. It's about national security, protecting Americans, protecting our children. Thank you. And thank you for listening.
That was heart-wrenching. Heart-wrenching. But I think incredibly important to hear, honestly. Like, dude, a lot of people, I think, are very easily emotionally manipulated. And I think the media does a really good job at emotionally manipulating and fear-mongering people and telling people that Trump is just disappearing people without due process. You could be next. And people are really shaken and scared. They're pissing and shitting themselves out there. And because of the emotional manipulation that goes on, people don't realize how vicious terrorists are. I think that a lot of rational people are actually aware of this, but most people want to just kind of plug their ears and go la 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 la, orange man bad, and move on with life. Those people need a reality check. You don't hate the media enough. You don't hate the journalists enough. They are twisting everything that they say is meant to make you think a certain way. Their job is to emotionally manipulate. Anytime you felt bad for the people getting deported, that is tears that you could have shed for this mother or for any of these people that were destroyed because of the inpouring of illegal immigrants, even violent, vicious, and malicious ones from prisons and mental institutions. They open the prisons, they open the mental institutions, poured into our country. And Trump was literally right. And for some reason, Biden left the border open because he wanted to steal some votes because there were no voter ID laws. It's so crazy when you see this story and you see like the bigger picture, and you so easily know who the good guys are and who the bad guys are, and you know that there are so many NPCs that are just gonna wake up, have their day, retard around, tarding like tards do, and just spew the propaganda that has been shoved down their throats 5 minutes earlier. Anyway, yeah, this was an intense one. Thanks, chat, for recommending it. Goddamn. Yeah, I guess it was important. Fuck. Stay weird, fam. Thank you so much. I'm going to cry now. Bye. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.
It's A to pick up a weapon. Well.
Hello, guys and gals, me Mutahar, and you know what? I'm gonna be honest, man. I think piracy is kind of based when it comes to preserving old video games. Now, before we go into it, I need to address the YouTube community guidelines here, okay? Now, if you go to the YouTube community guidelines under external links policy, okay, I'm already giving them the speech, YouTube, okay? Legal, do not commit piracy, okay? Don't download illegal games, movies, music, whatever off the internet. I'm not even joking here, okay? Piracy is wrong, okay? It takes away a product from, again, don't do it, okay? Just don't do it. It's illegal, okay? It's stealing, all right? As per the, as per most countries' DMCA-like policies. But anyways, if you look at YouTube's TOS, they'll tell you you can't link to anything adult. You can't link to any websites that install malware or unwanted software. So no, I'm not going to be putting Bonzi Buddy in the actual, description, okay? It's just not okay. It's not kosher. And of course, links to websites, apps, or other sources that give unauthorized access to audio content, audio-visual content, video games, software, or streaming services that normally require payment. So yeah, it's on the same bullet point as links to websites that seek to raise funds or recruit for terror organizations. Yeah, there's 2 no-nos on YouTube, and you just read them. Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, all of the legalese aside over here, I want to talk about video game ownership, okay? Now, obviously, I talk about this throughout my channel's lifetime. But one post that I saw from Peanut Butter Gamer actually really resonated with me, okay?
Peanut Butter Gamer?
And I feel like with me and him, maybe it's an age thing. You know, we're both older people compared to some of the new young kids on the block. And we come from a time when buying a video game was a physical affair, okay? I remember buying cartridges that I gave blowjobs to just to make them work on the old Sega Genesis, all right? I remember bricking up a PlayStation 1 disc going... praying to God that I would see the PlayStation logo and actually be able to play the video game that I wanted, right? I mean, whew. Let me tell you, when you're on Siphon Filter 2, Disc 2, and it's not working for a brief moment, you get little heart palpitations when you're that young. But anyways, he said, recently realized I no longer own Minecraft because I didn't merge my Mojang account to my Microsoft account. So he buys the game 15 years ago, like we all do, okay, on Mojang.com, if you're as old as me. And they unpurchased it from me. I don't even know how this kind of thing is even legal. Now, I'll tell you how it is legal. Typically, a lot of these companies have, like, fucking mega novels of legal work. Like, we're talking crazy end-user license agreements. We're talking tons of agreements that pretty much have it stipulated that I guess they can take away the license at any given fucking moment. Now, do I think that that should be legal? Absolutely not. And there's plenty of channels like mine, like Lewis Rossman, like, Ross from Accursed Farms. There's plenty of channels, plenty of content creators that understand the value of buying a fucking video game and owning it, okay? Now, before somebody conflates it and says, you don't technically own the game, you own a license. I know I own a license, okay? I know when I purchase a disc to anything, I own a license to use that software. And I'm not conflating it with me owning Minecraft as an IP. I feel like that's a weird conflation that I've seen recently, and I just want to nip it in the ass right now. So obviously, you know, Austin says, the gaming industry is increasingly moving to a future where you no longer own the games you buy. Happens all the time. I can't play my 2-year-old version of NBA 2K because I shut the server. You know, your first problem was buying NBA 2K. Okay, that was your first issue. But anyways, I'll let that slide. I feel like there should be more pushback on this. There should be, okay? There should be.
Out this epic gameplay game.
All right, god damn. Before people go, but Muda, you're crazy, okay? Just get over it, old man. All right, deal with it's a digital future. You know, I wouldn't have an issue with the digital future. You know, I buy digital games, but I wish we had more ownership of our digital media, right? There's a lot of good platforms like GOG where you can pay them $60 and get access to an installer that you can install games to your system and never have to connect to their service, install a fucking third-party launcher, or do anything above board. You can just install, click the exe file, and never have to touch the internet again for a purely single-player experience. Cool. You know, other platforms like Steam don't work that way. Other platforms like Epic don't work that way. And I feel like a lot of people are dumb enough to come into comments and go, well, you buy games on Steam, but you're out here talking about game ownership. Yeah, no, I'm not saying Steam is perfect. It clearly isn't. You know, you can go to GOG and purchase a fucking game, like Fallout, for instance, and own it. You can own the actual... You can burn the installer to a Blu-ray drive and keep that shit forever. You know, I downloaded all my GOG games and stuck them onto my own cloud server, meaning that if I ever need to play games like SWAT 4 again, I can just pull that shit right from my cloud and install it without ever touching GOG once again. So again, when he actually goes down, there were some comments that I found that literally hurt. They sent you a few million emails about it leading up to it, which is true. Actually, Microsoft, when it came to Minecraft, when Microsoft acquired Mojang, they wanted you to effectively migrate your Mojang account to your Microsoft account. Now, I did that, unlike Austin, meaning that my Minecraft purchase from 15 years ago or whatever ends up actually attributing to my Microsoft account. And that's the account that I use to play Minecraft in today's day and age. Obviously, Austin didn't do that, meaning that he had actually ended up losing his account because he failed to actually migrate it. And I'm sure that if he went through the customer service support section, he could. But I would think that, unfortunately, in his case, it might be better for him to just spend the $15 again, or whatever the fuck the Minecraft license is, than dealing with the headache of Microsoft support, or any support team in general. Now, of course, one person says, YouTuber has to spend $30 a second time in 2 decades. What a tragedy. Now, that might be one of the most... I know I can't use that word. Brain-dead things I've read on the internet. Because here's the funny thing. If you buy a license, you should basically be allowed to keep it, all right, for the foreseeable future. Now, the thing about it is, that's just Minecraft in this situation, but it's one small symptom in a much larger problem. Now, one of the most interesting and amazing initiatives that I've seen in the world of gaming is Stop Killing Games, and I've talked about this for quite a long time now. This is a actual, movement pushed by Ross from Accursed Farm, a beloved YouTuber who creates some amazing YouTube content like his infamous Game Dungeon series, where for some reason Ross can pull out literally the most obscure fucking game that I've never heard of and show it to an audience of people that are absolutely willing to just consume some of the most obscure games you can imagine. I'm one of them. But here in this initiative, it's a consumer movement where they wanted to challenge the legality of publishers destroying video games that they sell to customers. Now, one of his big videos was talking about live service games being effectively a scam, which is true. A lot of game services that distribute a lot of these titles that are connected to online services effectively have a time limit associated. So I want you to understand this really quickly. Let's say you buy a video game right now, and it's a purely single player experience, meaning that you're not really interacting with other users, or you can play the majority of the game completely offline. Now imagine if the game has an internet connection associated. So meaning that, at some point down the road, the gaming company associated can actually terminate the online services, meaning that the game you buy is effectively useless. Now that game, The Crew, that we constantly do talk about from Ubisoft as an example of this, is the perfect example. You buy a video game for $60, sometime down the road, in the near future, Ubisoft just pulls the cord on the servers and the game becomes an effectively useless brick. Meaning that for people who enjoyed that game, they'll never be able to play it again because their purchase was effectively forfeit. Now, at no point on these games does Ubisoft go out and say, you're not actually purchasing the game, you're actually renting it. And basically, it can effectively be up to us to terminate this game whenever we feel like. We'll give you notice, but once we tell you we're getting rid of this game, there's literally nothing you can do against it. You can't refund it, you can't get some of your money back, it is just effectively a fucking brick. So Ross made Stop Killing Games, which is such an amazing, easy petition that if you go to it, especially if you're in the European Union, guys, it's so easy, you can literally pick whatever country you're in. So if you're in from Ireland, for instance, click on the Ireland section, follow all of these simple steps, and you too can make your fucking anger known to the government so that they can at least investigate companies like Ubisoft or really any gaming company and at least tell them, stop killing your fucking games, okay? Simple as that. It's literally that simple. Now, I guess a really good example of this is what happens when a game is not completed on a disc. So, for instance, if you've never played the new Indiana Jones, Great Circle game, you are missing out on one of the best action-adventure games in general. Not just a great Indiana Jones game, but an amazing action-adventure title. So the thing about this game is, unfortunately, it does not come completed on the disc. So I'm actually going to go pick this up for the actual PlayStation 5, but thanks to a channel known as Retro Game Future, he decided to do this himself. Now, if you look at the box, right next to the PEGI rating, you're looking at Connection Internet Necessaires, meaning that you're going to need the fucking internet to play this game. Okay, so, alright, you might be like, alright, well, what does that even mean? That means if you put this goddamn game in your PlayStation 5 without an internet connection, it installs around 20 gigabytes of content. Now, to give you an idea, the actual Blu-ray disc drive of a PlayStation can store up to 100 gigabytes. So if you just took away those massive HD textures, you could actually fit the entire game on one disc. And if you were Microsoft, the indie company that they are, you could probably also stick a second Blu-ray into this and just have both of them serve as the actual physical media containing the textures and the core game. Plenty of titles do this, games like Cyberpunk 2077, games like, believe it or not, Baldur's Gate 3. A lot of games release with full physical releases where all the content is available for anybody to play if they don't have an internet connection. Now, you might be like, this probably isn't that big of a deal. What is the actual issue? The issue is, let's say 10, 15 years down the road, when PlayStation chooses to axe their servers for PlayStation 5, which they've done for PlayStation systems that are aged, systems like the PlayStation 3, where again, servers are taken offline, and eventually their online storefronts don't exactly exist for too long. What happens is, now that you have this physical disc, you put it into your system and you can't even download the updated content to play your physical fucking release. Meaning that no matter where you buy Indiana Jones physically, whether it be on the Xbox or the PlayStation, it is effectively a useless brick. Now, this hurts even more when the game is good. Indiana Jones is an amazing game. And you might be like, but Muda, the discs don't contain the games. What are you talking about? Well, if you go to doesitplay.org, great guys, friends of the channel, these guys showcase an amazing statistic. For instance, 93% of games actually work without the internet, okay? Offline play is enabled. But when it comes to physical media, 74% in the green category means that you can effectively run most physical media without ever needing an internet connection. Now, when it comes to the yellow category, which again is, you know, the no download required, typically that means you'll probably need a download to get some extra content that's not necessarily required to play the game, just maybe like extra, maybe like a level or like some skins. Or sometimes it might be patches that fix performance pretty heavily. Like, technically you could play Cyberpunk 2077 with physical media without ever fucking requiring an internet connection, but that also means you're pretty much putting yourself up to the most annoying gaming experience of your life. In fact, if we really added in the worst case scenario, up to 12% of games are unfortunately requiring a download on their system. And sadly, I feel like some gaming companies are kind of getting a little too liberal with giving us shitty media. Games like Hogwarts Legacy, hell, even games like Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition doesn't even contain the fucking DLC for PS5 users. Like, what is that even? You need a code to access that? Get out of here. Now, when it comes to old games like this, right? Again, the context is if the game does not fucking give a completed... Now, if the game is not completed on the disc, and down the road those patches aren't available, I mean, it is what it is. Preserving the game becomes an issue. Now, I started this video off by saying that video game piracy is kind of based in this regard. So, to show you, when it comes to Indiana Jones, this is a cracked NFO from the company Razor 1911. Now, this is a pretty infamous hacking group that's been around since before I was born, and even some of you were born. And they actually ended up cracking, again, this Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. So by downloading this cracked version of the game, pirates are able to somehow preserve this amazing title without the help of Microsoft specially. See, they're not giving us proper physical releases, and they're tying this behind online digital storefronts that are fleeting as the years go by. So by having a cracked version available, in some capacity means that, for better or for worse, on the PC, this game is a preserved experience. The same cannot be said for consoles. I mean, what kind of a world do we live in where you have to break the law in order to preserve your games? You know, people say if buying isn't owning, piracy isn't stealing. You know, the thing about it is that, look, there's a lot of people that pirate simply because they just don't want to buy video games, or they don't want to spend money, and they think they have access to pretty much anybody's, like, video game without paying, right? And in that case, it's pretty shitty. But if buying video games in the current era is effectively just one giant fucking rental, then how can you not say that piracy doesn't have a world? If the service that we are currently engaging with is so bastardized and predatory against the user, then extreme measures like piracy in this situation are probably the only stopgap to preserve some of the best titles in history. I think it's only software that really has this issue, like video games. Like, usually with movies or with music, there are ways to preserve that media no matter what, right? Like, you can always screen record all of your Blu-rays and store them onto your hard drives as backups. There's a lot of music that you can just, again, record onto your system or rip audio files and store. But you can't really do that with every single video game, especially when those video games are tied to complete online services that with the moment those servers go down, that software is effectively inaccessible. Some of you guys may enjoy the games Destiny 1 and 2, and the problem is, because those are effectively tied to online services, without server emulators and some access to the physical media, there is eventually going to be a point where accessing those games becomes completely impossible. you will lose content no matter what. Speaking of video games that literally are alive because of piracy, this is a game franchise known as the Chronicles of Riddick. Now, you probably watched the movies, and I'm not crazy for the movies, but I love these video games. In fact, it's probably amazing and lucky for me to actually own the physical copy of this on my PlayStation 3. But if you're on the PC, literally 18.4 thousand people have asked to preserve this video game.
Cool.
In fact, it's because of an old version of GOG's, version of Escape from Butcher Bay that I was actually able to download and play this game on modern hardware and a PC. Literally through piracy, I was able to actually experience and keep this game alive. No company sells this anymore, okay? Vin Diesel ain't selling it, Midway ain't selling it. It literally is because of video game piracy that we're actually allowed to preserve and keep this game going forward. If this was tied to an online service or some fucking nonsense where the game was never completed on a disc, we probably could never play an amazing title like this ever again. You know, piracy is one of those things where I feel like for a lot of companies, it actually is beneficial, especially for indie titles in certain cases, where people can be drawn for excessive sales. There's a YouTuber known as Set Scene Talk, which if you've never seen his content, he covers a lot of older PC games. Not just older PC games, but he's just a... this is a gamer that's like me, okay? He made a video on a game known as Star Sector back in 2019. Now, I ended up watching this video a while back, and this game is a pretty simplistic, like, you know, it's a pretty simplistic, like, space game in terms of its visual design, but don't let that hold you back. The amount of content and the amount of things you can do in this world is insane, okay? Want to be an organ dealer? You absolutely can. Want to be a black market god? You can. Want to be an honorable fucking pirate? You can. Want to be a merchant? You can. It's an amazing title. Super open-ended, all made by the smallest of development groups imaginable. Now the thing is, in his video, he gave his CD key for the game away, meaning that if you wanted to try this game, and I actually did use his CD key to play the game briefly, probably like 7-8 hours, and I loved the game so much that the next thing I did was just buy my own version of the game. And, you know, if I can just throw out my CD key, I probably will too, just for you guys to grab and play if you want to experience the game for yourselves. Now, the developers for this were super cool about it. They were like, all right, great, you know, these people are playing our video game, and they enjoyed their video game enough to the point that they bought it, like me. Now, I'm sure there's some people that are using Seth's CD key, and they'll probably never buy Star Sector, which is, again, the negative aspect of it, but because of piracy, and because of the awareness raised by this YouTuber alone, with 8.9 million views on this one video game, I'm sure it led to some serious good sales for this group. And again, that's really the key with a lot of successful indie games, right? When there's a mutual, healthy relationship between the audience and an influencer, and again, like, you know, showcasing this, it can be very beneficial, okay? But the point is, piracy probably did lead to a lot of positivity for this game. Now, look, piracy is a complicated subject, but I really wanted to talk about it in the context of it really saving a lot of modern video games. There's a lot of video games that I enjoy that, frankly, are living on borrowed time, just because of the way that companies are handling their DRM. A lot of online services are being required. There's a lot of, I want to say negativity, right? There's a lot of fear that comes from what's going to happen 20 years down the road when my son is going to be like, or daughter, or what, my children are going to be like, you know, I want to play Chronicle of Riddick. I want to play shit like Star Sector. I want to play shit like Indiana Jones. And because of how servers are operating down the road and how these companies treat, you know, their software and licenses that are handed out to people, it makes me wonder if these games are ever going to be completely available, right? We're long past the days of Super Nintendo, PlayStation 1, where we have ISO files for effectively every single game from entire console generations. We're at a point now where video games are kind of a tough bastard to preserve. And it's only gonna get worse unless we fight right now. And I think the fight is important, especially if you're somebody that really, really, really loves the world of video games.
That seems like
if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it.
Oof, there's a hitbox on the enemy.
Hello, guys and gals. Me, Mutahar, and it's dark tonight. And the reason it's dark tonight is because we're talking about a pretty dark topic. Do any of you watching have children? Maybe you don't. Maybe you're not a parent, but do you have children in your life at all that you care about? I would wager that most people watching probably do. And if that's the case, do you trust them on online video games like Roblox?
Maybe I am.
Now, to be honest, I'm not going to sit here and say that video games and social media are the exact problem. But I think giving a child in today's day and age a smartphone and a tablet unchecked is pretty much one of the most irresponsible things you can do. Now, as a kid, when I was growing up, my parents always pretty much monitored everything that I was doing online. I think most of my friends were effectively monitored. And a lot of that came out due to the fact that the internet was this brand spanking new technology, okay? Back in the day when you fired up MSN Messenger, you sent your friends over a DM on like Newgrounds, whatever. All right, parents were kind of getting used to it. They were like, whoa, this is a place where my son can talk to a random person on the internet? At least my parents were always like, hold on, let me sit near you, son. Let me see who you're IRC chatting with. And thankfully in my life, I never really ended up doing anything wrong. I never really ended up getting, sort of taken advantage of, right? Generally speaking, our schools even taught us, hey man, if somebody wants to meet up with you on the internet, be very careful. Don't do it. Don't actually go meet anyone you find on the internet. Make sure you know them in reality. In fact, when I was growing up, there used to be news broadcasts of people talking about PictoChat on the old DS as a vector for grooming, okay? Don't ever talk to somebody random on PictoChat. They might be 30 feet within you, if that. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, one of the reasons why I'm talking about it is, ladies and gentlemen, Roblox and Discord are actually currently being sued for allegedly facilitating child abuse. Not exactly a good situation whatsoever. In fact, there's an entire court case right over here where, again, the actual plaintiffs necessarily do involve John Doe, a minor, represented by a guardian, Charles Jonas. And they want to bring it against Roblox Corporation and Discord Incorporation.
Let me in.
So, of course, the actual action for this lawsuit seeks to hold Roblox and Discord accountable for facilitating the exploitation of this 13-year-old kid. So, again, it's an incredibly heinous thing to read, and this is where, the moment I cover this, I want to just stress one thing. I'm not here to demonize social media platforms. I'm not here to completely exalt, a parent in this situation. If you're somebody that gives your children unfettered access to the internet, there is some level of responsibility you do take. But I do understand that if you're a parent, you can't be there 24/7. So it's a weird balancing act that you have to do. But I definitely do think that sites like Roblox and platforms like Discord actually don't do nearly enough to prevent the level of disgusting behavior that happens on their platform. It's one of those jokes we constantly make all those times, Discord moderator grooming, or really anything of that nature, and I believe the joke has to stem from some reality. So in this situation, what they said was, defendants lure parents into believing their apps are appropriate places for children to play. In reality, defendants well know the design of their app makes children easy prey for friends. They also allow adult users to identify and readily initiate conversations with children, then manipulate the trust of those children, including by gifting them Robux, which is the microtransaction currency. Roblox allows adult users to easily identify and groom children and then move their communications over to Discord. So if you're not getting it, basically the idea is, weird, let's just say PDF file Larry goes on to Roblox and they find a whole bunch of kiddos. Now they find one kid they shower with Robux and a whole bunch of gifts, okay? Really creepy stuff so far. Now Roblox has some protections in their communications, but nothing effectively stops Larry from maybe goading the kid into saying, hey, you want to get onto my Discord server? And because they're on an off-site platform, because they're on a chat service like Discord, everything changes right there. Roblox is not involved at that point. Then comes an entirely different entire social media service to go into. So over here they say it's an app that permits a child to chat with anyone over voice, video, and text messaging. On Discord, these preds are able to coerce the children into sending explicit images or meeting in person. So again, what they said was the 13-year-old kid in this situation was an avid user of Roblox and Discord.
Thanks for stopping by, chat. It's a shorter stream. Gotta play more Borderlands. short stream. Thanks for stopping by. If you enjoyed my bullshit for at least a little bit. A good day or